Are so good. An affidavit. An affidavit is a sworn statement under oath before an authorized officer. Now this word affirm, there are so many words in its bag that have just a nuance change in meaning. It's like the electromagnetic waves, a few frequencies, a few wavelengths, and it changes the colors, and your eyes are able to pick them up. Affirm, confirm, ratify, assert as valid, assert positively. Now, affirm has a few brothers and sisters, all very interesting personalities. Affirm, allege, attest, asseverate, aver, avouch, testify, declare, profess, and pronounce. To aver is to affirm confidently as a matter of positive knowledge. Asseverate is to affirm solemnly and emphatically, as if beyond dispute. Protest is to affirm publicly and formally, so that there's no doubt about it. Now, all of these words I use to you today to tell you that I affirm, aver, asseverate, avouch, etc., that God is a joy. God is a wonder. And God is brilliant and wise and right. And I affirm, attest, testify, asseverate, proclaim that you will be happy when you find the treasure that God has for you. And that treasure you will find if you go alone with God the first thing in the morning, like 5 o'clock, and spend the first 2 hours. This is something that you put aside all your life. It has eluded you all of your life. But I affirm that this is the happiness that you're looking for, the wealth that you're looking for, the health that you're looking for, the appreciation, the love, the applause, the attainment, the achievement, the joy.
Watching for you and for me,
Cynthia, you know that you sang that today because I asked for that number. I was here on an airplane a while back, and this movie came on, and there was that voice singing, and that's gotta be Cynthia. Couldn't wait for the credit line. Sure enough, Softly and Tenderly, sung by Cynthia Clausen. Trip to Bountiful.
Yeah.
Didn't that win an Oscar?
For Geraldine Page.
Yeah. Thank you. You're wonderful.
Visions of rapture now burst on my sight. Angels descending come from above, echoes of mercy, whispers of love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Perfect submission, all is at rest. I and my Savior are happy and blessed. Watching and waiting, looking above, wrapped in His goodness, lost in His love. Hello everybody, on the 25th day of March, 3 months from Christmas. This is the day you wait for all winter. Warm, caressing, friendly, 50 degrees, and no wind. I've got the most wonderful words to share with you. But first of all, I have to go test this wireless microphone, and I have to test the video. Well, I think the microphone's pretty good. And there's a click on it, and it may be the sterling silver cross of Christ. So we'll separate that with the tie. Now these words, all these words are so good. An affidavit. An affidavit is a sworn statement under oath before an authorized officer. Now this word affirm, there are so many words in its bag that have just a nuance change in meaning. It's like the electromagnetic waves, a few frequencies, a few wavelengths, and it changes the colors, and your eyes are able to pick them up. Affirm, confirm, ratify, assert as valid, assert positively. Now, affirm has a few brothers and sisters, all very interesting personalities. Affirm, allege, attest, asseverate, aver, avouch, testify, declare, profess and pronounce. To aver is to affirm confidently as a matter of positive knowledge. Asseverate is to affirm solemnly and emphatically, as if beyond dispute. Protest is to affirm publicly and formally, so that there's no doubt about it. Now, all of these words I use to you today to tell you that I affirm, aver, asseverate, avouch, etc., that God is a joy. God is a wonder. And God is brilliant and wise and right. And I affirm, attest, testify, asseverate, proclaim that you will be happy when you find the treasure that God has for you. And that treasure you will find if you go alone with God the first thing in the morning, like 5 o'clock, and spend the first 2 hours. This is something that you put aside all your life. It has eluded you all of your life. But I affirm that this is the happiness that you're looking for, the wealth that you're looking for, the health that you're looking for, the appreciation, the love, the applause, the attainment, the achievement, the joy. So, I affirm, I confirm, I ratify, I assert as valid, I assert positively that this is so. And it will take care of you. Now, an affirmation is a statement, is a solemn statement under oath by a person who conscientiously objects to taking an oath. Excuse me, I misspoke. It is not under oath, it's under penalty of perjury. By a person who conscientiously objects to taking an oath. Where does that come from? Where do you find such people? Christians. Jesus Christ made it very clear that you don't swear by the heavens, you don't swear by Jerusalem, you don't swear by your head, because you have no control over any of that. You just let your nay be nay, and your yea be yea, and just let me get through to you people who so cavalierly give your word and then never show up. You think that's all right. Well, it is not. And that includes you, Keith Bailey. You gave your word to be here Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. No notice? No excuse? No apology? And no make good. When you give your word, you keep it. And Jesus Christ said that this way. Let your nay be nay, and let your yea be yea. I will never go back on my word. Never. So then, what do we have after affirmation? I think one of the best words in the whole English language, one of my favorites, and it's one of my jewels, and it's number 164. Afflatus. What is it? A divine imparting of knowledge. A divine imparting of knowledge. An overwhelming supernatural impulse. there's a word like that on the Christian calendar, Epiphany. Comes after Advent and Christmas, Epiphany. And it goes for a long time. I think it goes January, February, March, maybe we're in Epiphany now. Then comes a word that's terrible. Afflict. To inflict some great injury or harm that causes continued pain and mental distress, and that troubles grievously. Don't ever do that. Any of those. Don't do that. And after afflict comes affluence. Abundant supply as affluence of thought. Affluence of words. Profusion. Affluence of property. Opulence. Let me go check the video and the audio again, because outdoors we don't have a monitor. Oh, that's good, folks. I'm a split personality. And you get half of the split. Where were we? Affluent. Then comes afford. When you're one with God, you can afford it. You can incur it without detriment. You can afford it. You can incur it without detriment. And after afford comes affranchised. When you go alone with God the first thing in the morning and become a friend of God, in fact, God becomes your greatest friend, then you are affranchised. You are free from a burden, and you are free from obligation to what is obligation to what is wrong. And then after affranchise, we have affray. That's a bad word. And affray is a fighting in public to the terror of others. Ugly. And then we have affright, which is sudden terror. And then we have affront, which means to show disrespect in the face of somebody. You show disrespect either by your demeanor or by language. How's that? Aren't they beautiful words? Don't they tell you about your life? Don't they straighten you up? Okay. Thank you, G.C. Merriam, Springfield, Massachusetts, Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. And thank you, as always, God. Folks, what are the 5 rights of yours that are guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America? And if you live in New York, by the Constitution of the State of New York, Bill of Rights. What are they? That Congress shall make no law as to establishing a religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise of religion. What's the next one? Freedom of speech. What's the third one? Freedom of the press. What's the fourth one? Freedom to assemble peacefully. The right of us people to assemble peacefully. Now what's the fifth? You have the right to petition your government for redress of grievance, even if it is your government who is grieving you. Remember the word afflict that we had this afternoon? If you are ever inflicted with great injury or pain, causing injury or harm, causing continued pain and mental distress, and troubling you grievously. Now, when you come to the Second Amendment, it's the right to bear arms. I have equivocations about that. I like Alice Harrington in the Friends of Animal when she says the right to arm bears. So you hunters, you go out there and you do a fair fight. Otherwise you are cowards and masochists. Third Amendment is what? You don't have to house a soldier. Fourth Amendment is very, very, very important. That you have the right, we all have the right to be secure in our persons, our effects, our papers, against unreasonable search and seizures. This, the Constitution says, shall not be violated. And no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause. So if anybody tries to arrest you or seize you or you or your papers or your effects, you ask them, what is your probable cause? You might also ask them, what is your statutory authority? Let me see the warrant. Let me see the warrant, and let me see who signed it. And show me that this was done under penalty of perjury. Supported by oath or affirmation. There's that word affirmation again. Oath, affidavit, affirmation. And particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Please intercept that. That is the Fourth Amendment. A very, very important bundle of rights. Now next month we will get into the Fifth Amendment and the Eighth Amendment, which is right to a trial by jury. People's rights are violated daily by incompetence, by people who are incompetent, who are not American, and who don't deserve their salary. So, do you know the difference between a Xerox machine and the flu? A Xerox machine makes facsimiles, and the flu makes sick families. You heard about Claire Putter, the crossword puzzle addict. she changed her will to read she wanted to be buried 6 down and 3 across. A citizen was hauled into court for not paying his bill in a donut shop, and he was charged with impersonating a police officer. And you heard about this week's meeting of the Clairvoyance Club? It was canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. There was a collision of a wine truck and a cheese truck that resulted in an instant fundraiser. Betty says her husband suffers from insanity, and her mother says he doesn't suffer from it, dear, he enjoys it. The church bought a new conference table. It's 6 feet wide, it's 9 feet long, and it sleeps 20. A boy was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, a philanthropist. And he was asked why, and he said, they're the ones who seem to have the money. Billy says there's only one thing that keeps him from being rich. Do you know what that is, folks? Money. Now let's see. A man was walking along the beach. He picked up a seashell, he put it to his ear, and a voice said, why aren't you working, you bum? It was his mother-in-law. John was asked, where have you been? He says, I've been on a half-year cruise. And his buddy says, yes, they sent him up the river again for 6 months. I have decided that my advice is very, very good. And it lasts for a long, long time. Nobody comes back for more. Dad, said the girl to Dad, he only has one fault. Dad says, that's right, he's unbearable. And another girl said to her father about her boyfriend, Dad, he's just a boy trying to get ahead. And Dad says, he needs one. Gloria says, last year I was miserable and depressed. This year I changed that all around. I'm just depressed and miserable. Why do you always take your paycheck to the bank? Helen was asked. And Helen says, it's too little to go by itself. And Harry wanted to go to Paranoids Anonymous, but they wouldn't tell him where they hold the meetings. And why does Maxine call her son-in-law Blister? He always shows up after the work is done. And at the retirement dinner, the CEO of the company, at the retirement dinner, the CEO of the company said, John has always given us an honest day's work, even though it took him a week sometimes to do it. And this little boy and his little dog went to school together every day for months, week after week, month after month. It was endearing. Everybody loved it. And then they were parted. The dog graduated. This is Glendora, cheerful kid life. Now, I would like to read you a poem by Franklin Buell, My Nubial Joy for 48 Years.